Hey everyone, it's the Patient Hodler coming at you with another video, and in this one we are going to talk about the Givenchy Rewind Collective Pride Drop drama, and we are also going to talk about art NFTs and what is a necessary catalyst to make them explode and bring wealth to our art NFTs. But before we start, please keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor and not a financial advisor. So please do your own research before you ape full degen into the art NFTs on and outside of Veve. Also, if you enjoy this type of content and me constantly bringing new scenarios to you, then please consider leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think about art NFTs and the future of those art NFTs in the comments below. Also tap the bell to always get notified whenever I upload a video, start a live stream, or upload the next part of the big Ecomi value series. At this point, I also want to thank my rare hodlers, my Patreons, and the channel members for always supporting my journey in a special way. If you want to become a channel member or a rare hodler, link is in the description. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. So I have come out here to the beautiful fields. You see cornfield, wet field here, and we have also the sky hanging full of heavy rain clouds, just as we see it in the Veve and in the Ecomi space or in the general crypto space right now. But especially the Veve fam has a tendency to always find something to go at each other and to create some more FUD, since the MTL and KYC and cash out topic is almost over. We needed something to rage on, right? So let's get into it. So 2 days ago we had the drop of Givenchy and Rewind Collective made art that came to the Veve app, and this has been teasered in a way that the drop didn't look like. So what has been teasered was a clean looking piece of art at a wall, and what has been delivered was a pixelated art that we have also seen in the Medium article and the drop announcement photos. But to many people it was unclear that the drop actually would not look as the advertisement video, and I'm going to display it here while I'm talking so that you can see what I mean. The second part of this is that the NFT has been announced as a collaboration of the licenses Givenchy and the art collective that is called Rewind Collective, which is led by Amar Singh, who has also been on the last Veve AMA to explain his art. And now in the data that is being displayed on the Veve app, we can see that it's only branded by Rewind Collective and it's called Givenchy Beauty, but it's not actually branded by Givenchy. So many people that have spent money right after the drop and during the drop are obviously now frustrated because the piece of art that has been delivered was not what they demanded. And then, as a third point, it has also been altered after the drop. So they have done some reworking onto those drops after it has been dropped. So let's go over each of these points. In my opinion, these are three major points that need to be addressed, and I'm not going to go into FUD, but I think it is necessary to also always highlight bearish or problematic spots right when they occur so that we can talk about it. And as always, guys, everything that I say is highly debatable, so please let me know your opinion in the comments below. So the first one is the tendency of the Veve team and their partners to put out contradictory information at some points. We have seen that already in several occasions with when some information was totally different from one AMA to another AMA. So for example, this happened with the bot accounts, where they said in one AMA that they would take away the NFTs of those bot accounts, and then in another AMA that they can't take the NFTs of those bot accounts because of legal issues. And at another point, for example, they said that we would have 2.6 million active users. Now this time in this drop announcement, with the visuals that we had, you could believe that the drop NFT, the animation, would be like these visuals that I'm displaying here right now, and not a pixelated art as it has been delivered. So in my opinion, we need statements to this, we need clarity to this, and we need better communication. But let's say it's just not a good look. Which brings me to the second point, and that point is about the reworking of NFTs after they have dropped. So you would say that the purpose of an NFT is that at the point of time that the NFT drops, that it's not changeable anymore. So some people asked, how is it possible that an NFT drops non-fungible token and then afterwards the underlying art is being reworked so that the NFT actually looks different than when it dropped and when you made the decision to purchase it? So not only this is problematic because it's different from when you purchased it and now it is something else, but also because we are minted on a blockchain that is called Immutable X. Not Mutable X, but Immutable X. It's a non-fungible token, not a fungible token, and therefore everything that is connected to the token should also not be fungible, not be mutable anymore. Now the other side of this argument is that the token, yes, that you own and that gives you the access right to that intellectual property, but not the right to own the underlying brands and the use of this intellectual property, for example, for commercial uses, allows them also to make changes on that intellectual property, for example, if an error occurs. So that means that the token that you own is only the certificate to access basically a link to the data file of that specific NFT. So if that is the case, then we have to ask ourselves if it's then also possible that Disney decides to turn the Walt partner statue into, let's say, just a little cube of dirt. So is that possible? Is that obviously they will not do it, but is that technically possible? And does that also mean, for example, that Electra can suddenly become a beautiful NFT? And does that mean that other NFTs can just change? And does that mean that the faces of some of these weird looking NFTs could suddenly look better? Because until now, I believe the only thing that is changeable on these NFTs is that to the look, you can enable an animation for the NFT or make that NFT animated, but not really change the initial position of that collectible. So this is something that, in my opinion, we need clarity on. Now, the third point is the branding and which is the superior brand and who is exactly the issuer of the NFT or the collectible. And I would agree with the people that are criticizing this right now. If this was a collectible, for example, of Disney or Warner Bros. Or whatever else. Now, in this case, we knew, and it was written in the Medium article, that this is a Givenchy inspired art by Rewind Collective, even in collaboration with Givenchy, and it has the Givenchy logo in it. So the fact that there's not Givenchy written in the data of the NFT is not so important in my personal opinion, and it shows another point, and that is that the space that is mostly from early crypto investors and people that are seeking to own the first versions of a specific NFT, of a specific collectible, that this space is not ready for the appreciation of art in the masses that we might think it would be. Because instead of just discussing the looks of the art, people are fighting over if there is Givenchy or Givenchy Beauty or Rewind Collective written as a licensor. And specifically in the space of the arts, I think it shouldn't be that important, because what's most important is that the art piece carries the logo, how the art piece looks at itself, and how the art piece can be experienced, what the art piece's intention is. So in my opinion, the first 2 points are more important than what licensor is especially written on this art piece, just because it's art. If this would be a Disney announced collectible though, and it doesn't carry Disney but whatever other artist's name as the branding, then I think this would be a whole nother story. But we knew already from the other collectibles that Rewind Collective is the principal artist, and yes, the first Pride was branded under Givenchy, and that is alright, but now this one is Givenchy Beauty in combination with Rewind Collective, and I think for the purpose of this NFT that's also fine. At least for me it doesn't matter so much, but also because I don't own one of these, so maybe if I would own one I would think a little bit differently. So I'm going to recheck my own biases here. But with that, let's go to the next topic, and this is the most important one in my opinion, and that is where the NFT art space and especially the NFTs on the Veve app are headed, and what's important to make them big, valuable, and let the art space go to new levels and explode. For that purpose I have done some research and reading, and I want to show at this point a little clip of a woman that is called Fanny. She is a French-born New York resident, and she is a digital art collector, and she is moving in the space a long time, and she is basically explaining how she sees art within the broader scope of NFTs, how important it is or not important it is, and what she thinks is the biggest part of the whole NFT spaces. So let's listen together into this clip, and then we are going to discuss it together here.
What it means to collect NFTs, because the term NFT is a wide catch-all term for a variety of digital assets. Fanny, if I could ask you online, as a seasoned collector, if I could ask you, what does it mean to collect NFTs in the context of this discussion?
It can mean anything. NFTs are really the transactional vehicle or the envelope through which you can authenticate, timestamp, buy, sell like a digital asset. But that asset itself can literally be anything from gaming asset to virtual fashion, real estate, collectible, and finally art. But if you look at the data published on all use cases for NFTs, art is only around 16% of all applications for NFTs, 1/6. And it does vary depending on the blockchain that you are considering. But art is a small use case of NFTs. And for us, it's actually more accurate, I believe, for that conversation to really talk about crypto art, NFT art, or even blockchain art, which was more used back in the days. And then within crypto art, you have many categories. You have photography, conceptual art, software art, generative art. So most people I advise, they start saying I want to collect NFTs, but when they discover the depths of the field, they all tend to refine their taste, and really it's not unlike any other collectors, really.
Okay, I got tired here, so let's sit down together and discuss what we have heard in this clip. So according to her, she sees art, digital art, in the NFT space as only a smaller part of the overall NFT space, only with 16% according to the data that she is referring to. And I think that is about right. Depending on how you look at it, it might be even smaller than that, especially when you are looking at art collectors and art fans that are looking right now into NFTs and NFT-based art. Now, the interesting thing is that she has talked about this here. This clip is from the Art Basel forum, and it is referring to art, digital art, that is right now being displayed in the Miami NFT galleries. And we are going to read into something as well that is referring to this NFT art galleries. But let's talk first about this part, this little share. So she is referring to the art as a smaller share, and she actually also outlines what will be a bigger share of the NFT space, and that is NFT fashion or accessories, NFTs as certificates, for example, in the real estate sector, in whatever proof of authenticity, and also gaming NFTs and blockchain-based art, and it scatters out into very different topics there. But she does not see art NFTs as a major share, and that is very interesting because basically most of what you can find right now on OpenSea and in the NFT spaces is more or less art. And you could argue in some ways that also the comic covers, the cover variants on Veve, but also the different interpretations and figures of Batman could fall into the category of art, although the user base then is not an artist collector in that sense, but more a brand and licensing collector, a fan of the brand and of the movies where the characters are from. But the interpretation of Todd McFarlane of the very first Batman on the blockchain, for example, that is kind of art as well. Maybe it's not so black and white and not so easy to determine really where art starts and ends. But in general, when we are talking about art NFTs, we are thinking more about paintings, about sculptures, about conceptual art, abstract art, modern art, classic art, and so on. So let's keep this discussion in that context. So now the most important point is, how can we get people into art? So what was interesting to me as well was that Mark Billings, who is actually the founder of the very first NFT gallery in Miami that is called Black Dove, he says that the problem of art galleries was around Silicon Valley and everything else, that they were trying to sell an analog product to a digital audience. And that is all the digital natives and the people that are really, really into that space. They couldn't really be approached with the analog art product. So that means there is a part of digital natives that needs to be approached differently. Now, I want to invert that statement and basically say that the biggest problem of the NFTs right now is that they are approaching an analog audience with a digital product without anything to get these people into the digital space right now. And that is where I want to make my most important point here, and that is art needs to be experienced. And for an art collector, it is most important that the piece of art that he acquires is enjoyable and experienceable. So statues, paintings, conceptual art, there's a reason that a room in a gallery is designed as it is designed, and that it spreads an atmosphere in the gallery, or the room where the art collector keeps his art is a room to appreciate, experience, enjoy and contemplate on the art that basically is present at that moment. Now, what do we have right now? We had since 1 year our NFT art on our screens of the mobile phone, and maybe since the beta of the Veve app and in other occasions with OpenSea, we had the possibility to open this art on a PC screen. But this is not an environment that can appeal to a right now analog art collector. So I think with the upcoming more refined AR, VR glasses, such as those that Apple wants to bring out, art will be experienced in a whole nother way. So art will be experienced in 3D. You will have the immersion into that art, and in general it will be more similar to the art that we can experience in the real world right now, but with the features that only digital art can bring us. So I think the upcoming AR, VR technology, the enabling technology, and also the metaverse trend, that is when the art collectibles will really come to life, and that is when art will be appreciated by art collectors and embraced by even the analog art collectors, and that is when our art collectibles will really explode and skyrocket in value. And with that said, I only have one more little topic to discuss, and that is when you are looking for art, you really should consider to buying art that you personally like. For example, on the Veve app, there's very little art that I personally can appreciate. I'm not really into collectibles like Toby, and not really into these psychedelic collectibles that we have seen right now. And I have in my family actually an artist where I say I really like what she produces. Unfortunately, she did not yet produce NFTs, but I think I can convince her to do that. And once she does, I will acquire one of those NFTs, and hopefully these will be something that I can then in the very far future put into the metaverse and appreciate in a digital format. So I will quickly teaser you with how it looks. It's a fashion related art, and this steampunk way of drawing this art really appeals to me. So if you also think that is interesting, let me know in the comments below, and in the following videos I will show more of her, maybe introduce you to her internet presence, and maybe we can convince her and get her to putting out NFTs with this art. But with that said, I'm already at the end of this video. Please let me know what you think about the Givenchy drama on Veve, what you think about art NFTs and the future of art NFTs in the comments below, and ultimately also let me know what you think about her art that I've shown last year. Do you like it? Is it something that you also want to see as an NFT? And yes, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. If you can, go out and enjoy beautiful nature by foot or by bike, as I do. And yes, relax your mind, get a little bit off of crypto, and just enjoy your day. See you in the next video.